You're listening to May 22. Prophet Bushiri's daughter is in need of treatment, and on Friday the 19th of February, escorted by guardians, they plan to take her to Kenya for treatment. Unfortunately, the 8-year-old, who was with 3 guardians, was blocked from flying out of the country.
Bushiri's daughters and mother-in-law have reportedly been stopped from leaving Malawi for Kenya. It's understood the daughters were seeking medical treatment in that country.
The prophet and his wife were not part of the delegation. His communication team released a statement stating, quote, "The daughter, 8, was duly referred by competent Malawi medical professionals to seek further medical treatment, and all required immigration details were in place to facilitate her travel through a chartered air ambulance." The communications team stated that no explanation was provided for blocking the delegation. Prophet Bushiri's daughter remains in critical condition at the same medical facility, which referred her to seek further medical attention in Kenya. A few hours later, after the child was barred from traveling, Malawi police apparently issued a warrant of arrest for the prophet and his wife.
It's understood approximately 30 policemen went to the Bushiri's apartment on Saturday to detain him. Bushiri and his wife fled South Africa to Malawi after being granted bail last year. They are facing charges of theft, money laundering and fraud in connection with an alleged R1 million investment scheme.
The police till now have not been able to provide any explanation as to why the warrant was issued. We see the same narrative play out with this situation as it was in South Africa, where the South African police arrested the prophet and his wife because they feared that he will flee the country. They detained him for about 16 days before they released him out on bail. Prophet Bushiri later left the country, stating that his life, as well as his family's lives, were in danger. Many citizens of the country and the world at large got to see the court case play out in front of their eyes as it was made public after the first court hearing.
Let me just summarize so the court understands again. There was an arrangement for the applicants 1 and 2 to hand themselves over. We also found out later that applicant 3 was sought. We tendered from the word go that we will hand over all 3, the applicants. Was it not for the fact that the investigating team, despite the conversation myself and my attorney had with them, did not keep their word and wait for us to also hand accused number 2 over, applicant number 2 over. All these applicants voluntarily have surrendered themselves. The only thing that's important for this honourable court to know is that there was from the beginning, even on the state's version, when this issue was discussed with Mr. Nkwashu, a tender by both the first and the second applicant to voluntarily surrender themselves. What is further important to note in this respect, Your Worship, is the fact that I would submit it's common cause that all the applicants knew that this case was being investigated for a long period of time.
Many went from having a negative view of the prophet to actually seeing that there was no case, and to asking, why is this country treating him this way? From one postponement to the next, the country got to see firsthand what the prophet had endured, as his lawyer delivered a powerful argument at his bail hearing. While in Malawi, he mentioned that he had opened a case with the Independent Police Investigative Directorate Office, IPID, against police that were corrupt, but nothing was ever done.
I can confirm that a case of alleged police corruption has been opened with IPID in 2018 by Bushiri's lawyers. And the allegation was that there's police officers who wanted to extort some cash from Bushiri. So IPID started with the investigation process, and in the process of trying to meet with the victim and establish what transpired, IPID has been tried to get hold of Bushiri, but due to his busy schedule, he was not availing himself.
IPID responded and confirmed that Prophet had actually opened the case, but they claimed that they were unable to reach him. This narrative clearly shows that what the prophet had been stating all along was true, that he was being harassed for a long time, he reported it, and nothing was done. And of course, we have false media reporting false stories, once again, that the prophet was trying to escape Malawi to Kenya, as seen here with these screenshots from YouTube, when in fact this was never the case. This was simply a case of his daughter needing treatment, and the prophet and the prophetess were never with the child. Please beware that YouTube is full of channels that make money off of such stories because people easily click at scandals rather than the truth. Bushiri and his wife fled South Africa last year while on bail. They feared for their lives and went to Malawi for safety, awaiting their next trial date.
I have come here looking for the constitutional help that protects the citizen.
We here at May 22 will hold the Prophet and his family in prayers during this time. To follow this story and more, make sure you subscribe and hit that bell so you can know when we post our next video. This is May 22.